People have been asking over and over every time I say, what video would you like to see? What tactic would you like to see? They always come back with Roberto De Zerbi. Now, I have gone from being a fan to not being a fan, and then doing the full circle and coming back and thinking, actually, his style of play would suit a lot of the players Manchester United have at their disposal, with obviously a couple of signings. So in today's video, we're going to go through the Zerbi ball tactic. Link in the description for that, for all the patrons, if you want to download it, put it in, support the channel like over 100 people are doing for me every single month, supporting the channel. Thank you very much to all the guys linked on screen. I will go through all the team instructions, player instructions, so you can copy it into your FM save yourself. I'm also going to play through a season with Manchester United. I'm also going to recommend four signings to just to plug the gap of the positions needed to help De Zerbi implement his style at Old Trafford. All right, guys, let's get into it. Smash a like on today's video. If you would like to see videos similar to De Zerbi ball today, we've done a Maresca Chelsea one. If you would like to see another manager going in at a club, setting a philosophy and a tactic, and then maybe adding a couple of signings to it, let me know your suggestions down in the comments. Okay, so what does De Zerbi ball look like? Basically, we know he loves the Pep Guardiola style of play. It's going to be very much possession orientated. He dreams of playing a game against Pep and having more possession than him. He likes to do things a little bit differently in terms of build-up. So you'll be familiar now with the two centre-halves sitting on the ball, waiting for that press, having two defensive midfielders extremely deep, with fullbacks helping him build up just like this. And it often looks like this. These can often be deeper, they can be a little bit higher, but basically we're after this, with the centre forward coming in and maybe even the wingers being even a little bit higher than the two central, the essential striker and the number 10. So the wingers will often hold the width and hold the depth as well. And the idea is that they have an overload of 6 in the middle. They can play through lines. They'll try and do third man runs to beat a press, depending on the scenario of how many players the opposition are pressing with. Are they pressing with a front 2 or a front 1? Or are they doing a low block or a mid block or a high press? Loads of little different options, which will be fantastic to watch at Old Trafford. So basically they have this setup where they have two defensive midfielders who will often sit in there, don't often get involved too much in the final third, often backing up play. So that's why we've got a DLP and a DM. We'll talk about them roles as we go. They don't also need a classic 6. If you think of the Brighton teams that have done so well, like a Moses Caicedo, he's not a real awesome 6. He's more of a 6/8. Billy Gilmore's played in there a lot. Obviously, he's all right. Pascal Grossa's played in there as well. So definitely something I think Man United can alter with a couple of key position changes. So let's go through the tactics. So sweeper, keeper on attack, absolutely key. You know, they're up there for high possession. He wants them to, at times, even get involved, even at times making a back 3 with the two centre-halves. Man United are more than covered in this scenario with Onana. That is fine that way. Now, the right-back situation, full-back on support, they don't often get in behind because of how the wingers play, both wingers on attack. They're just there as a little bit of support role. They support in build-up as well, and they also support the wingers. They will often get behind. You know, Purvis, Estepinian had a fantastic kind of 3 or 4 months getting in and around a Matoma who was cutting inside. But generally, they're there to help in build-up and also to help in transitions, making sure, you know, they're not two complete wing-backs who are going to be flying forward and leaving this back 2 centre-halves extremely exposed. Manchester United are covered in there for me with Dalot in there at right back. Loads of people have also suggested that having another right back instead of Wan-Bissaka would be better as one of a key transfer this summer. I kind of agree and disagree. We're only going to get about 10 or 12 million for Wan-Bissaka. We'll then need to find a replacement. We're not going to get one for that price. We're going to probably have to play double that. He'll probably want to play more game time than what Wan-Bissaka would. So just for now, because we've got issues at right centre-back, number 6, striker, for now, and even probably left back, for now I would leave that blank and look at coming back to that next year. So Dalot in at right back. Now we all know we need a right centre back. There's loads of choices. There's been loads of suggestions, like certain players are not going to sign for us. So I've just kept it really simple and gone for Todibo. He's at Nice, potential transfer, 40 to 50 million pounds would be an upgrade on what we've got. I would also let Lindelof go. We know Varane's going. Willy Kambala will probably step up a little bit. And then I would probably use Harry Maguire as Todibo's backup. Left back, we know we're sorted. It's Lisandro Martinez. Difficult season with him in terms of injuries, but what we could do with the issue we've had at left back this year, we've got Maguire who can also play on that left-hand side as well to partner Todibo if Martinez is injured. You could even also go Luke Shaw there, and I would sign another left back. Now, we have got Harry Amas coming through, but he's not even 18 yet, so he's got like 3 or 4 years probably developing before he gets an opportunity to be a regular in the first team, even if he reaches that level. Malacia, I don't think he's at the standard of Manchester United anyway, and Luke Shaw, we know the injuries, so I would go big in this area. And my favourite player over the last sort of like season, maybe a bit of bias because I absolutely love them, and he's Inter Milan's Federico Di Marco. Inter Milan need to sell this summer to balance the books. They've been taken over by a bank. If they want to sign some players, they're probably going to have to sell one. If we can get him in for about 50 million quid, he would be absolutely perfect as a complete wing-back. In some games, we've actually changed this role to a complete wing-back. When we're playing against a team with a lower block, I have allowed him to get in behind a little bit more because obviously we're using a right footer on this left-hand side. So Di Marco in there, the Estepinian role, full-back support, complete wing-back on support, depending on your preference. Now, the two DMs, I'm going to make a big call here. We need 4. I can't include McTominay. I'm not including Eriksen. Not going to include Casemiro. So what we're going to do is we're going to have one in Kobe Menu. So Menu is going to be in there. DLP, just allowed to get forward a little bit more, backing up, maybe getting in around these areas, combining maybe with the fullback and the winger on that left-hand side. Then now the DM on defend, it doesn't need to be a proper anchorman 6. We don't need someone who's going to absolutely hold the way he plays. Adam Lallana's done it at times. So many other players that are just good technically. My choice would be Koopmeiners from Atalanta. Now, he has been playing more of a 10 this year. However, the last couple of years, he has played in a double pivot in their sort of like 3-4-1-2 formation. He can do that role. He could do more of a sitting role. He's got the physicality. If we look at his attributes, obviously not, he's not great pace-wise, good height, really good on both feet. He can also do that role extremely well as well. There's your other option. So Koopmeiners in, Menu in as my first choice. I would also do Mason Mount as a third option. De Zerbi wants them players to do tidy in possession. He would be absolutely fine at that. He had a really good half against Spurs at the start of the season when he played a lot deeper, Mason Mount, and I think that is something that could be trained. De Zerbi, an excellent coach in making players better. I think that would be an option for Mason, and also being then, depending on what happens with the Koopmeiners transfer, if they go out and get more of a 6, then Mount can do this role, which has obviously been earmarked for Fernandes, but Mount could do that if there's an injury to Fernandes. The other option, controversial, Amrabat. £17 million. I was really excited when he came in the summer, and he's had pelters all season. However, how Man United have set up this year has absolutely killed him. He's not great at covering the ground. He's a good ball winner in small, sharp spaces. So in this build-up, he's really comfortable in possession. Can we go out and get another midfielder for better than him for around 17 million? I don't think we can. Is he going to be a backup? Yes. Rotating Europa League games, etc. He was tremendous in the FA Cup because he had players in and around him. He didn't have large spaces to cover. I think that video of him chasing Mbappe is a completely one-off. He's not a fantastic sprinter of the ball. He likes everything in and around, gritty when it's nice and tight, and he's really comfortable in possession. And he would be comfortable dropping in, popping the ball off to him, be a fullback, making little runs as well to help beat that initial press. So they're my options. Amrabat and Mount backing up Menu, and a Koopmeiners, absolutely perfect. Front 4, obviously we have Bruno Fernandes, absolutely sorted in there, attacking midfielder, going to enjoy coming in deep as well to help out and progress the ball, no problem. Winger on the right now at Brighton, so good last season, Solly March. This is why people forget about how Brighton have underperformed. They've kept selling their best players, and then their best 2 players from the season before. So we're talking, 22-23, Mitoma and Solly March have played less than 50% of the games between them. So I think with that is a massive loss for a team like Brighton. When he did play, he hugged the touchline. I do feel like the right-hand side suits Garnacho so much more because he's so weak on his left foot. What he can do is he can act as a second striker. So you think of he had a shot against City in the first half where the ball was played and he got into these areas here and he could just strike it. He hit it straight at the goalie when he should have gone across. But I think it does suit him better. He can go around the outside. He can drift in here and be a little bit narrow as a shadow striker like he did against City for that first goal when he gambled and got in behind. So he'd been absolutely perfect at that. On the other side, we can't sell Marcus Rashford, number one, because no one will want to pay that money for him that Manchester United would want. So we're going to keep Rashford on that left-hand side. Let's see if De Zerbi can get the best out of him. Player instruction there as well. Cut inside with the ball. We want him cutting in there, and that will allow that DiMarco role, Estepinian role, to go a little bit higher on that overlap. Now, the centre-forward, we need another one. Like, Højlund has been good, and I think he would do this role pretty good. Coming in, he's pretty good with his back to goal. A little bit raw, needs tidying up technically. However, another option, we're not going to be able to spend massive. We've spent, maybe already Coop minus 50 to beat Todibo 40, 140. We've already spent 160, maybe 160 mil. We've maybe got just over 200 with sales to come in. So we need someone for about 40 million. So I've gone for Ivan Toney. I've suggested him a lot. I do think he makes Arsenal better. He makes Chelsea better. He makes Tottenham better. He definitely makes Manchester United better. Big move. That player that is happy to link, come and drop in. If you look at his attributes, shoots with power, winds up opponents, moves into channels, comes in deep to get the ball as well, and likes his balls played to feet. And that's exactly what they want that number 9 to do, to drop in, play with his gap back to goal and spin off. But he also has the ability as well to lead the line as a striker. I think he's a bit of a talisman, a bit of a rogue, and I do think he's well suited to Manchester United, that character that they've had over the years, sometimes wearing that number 9 shirt. So that would be my signings for the season. Now, moving into the the team instructions, positive mentality, fairly wide. We want to focus the play through the middle. Now, we want to do that so we can get that build up with the passes going into the 2 6s and then trying to find that free man, that 8, or that number 10, or even the number 9 dropping in. Higher tempo, I've changed that depending on opponents. It needs to be quick in FM to make sure when you're playing against a low block to dislodge them, to be a little bit better against the high block, just being a little bit more relaxed sometimes. So depending on who I'm playing, the better the opposition, the lower the tempo. However, I don't often go below slightly higher. It's normally higher for a majority of the teams that we expect to beat. Big games, we just drop it onto slightly higher with everything else left blank. In transition, counter press, absolutely. He wants to get the ball back as quickly as he possibly can, especially with the amount of players they've got forward in those attacking areas. Counter attacking, yes. I've kind of put that on because it's the Manchester United way, and they do like to counter attack with them 2 wide players staying extremely high, the Matoma, the Solly March. So that's why I've left that on. Roll the ball out, Onana, to the centre backs. He will go long on occasions, but I am trying to encourage him to play it out so we can build with that back 4, that 2 centre halves as much as possible. Out of possession, high line, high press, would suit Manchester United with those signings. A lot more pace with the Todibo, Dalot, Martinez and DiMarco going in on that left-hand side. Trap outside, ball shuffles across, trap outside and squeeze. Press that maybe full-back with a high press and high defensive line. Okay, so this is just a clip of this 6. So we're looking at the back 2, there's 2 centre-halves, the 2 sitters, and then the 2 9 and the 9 and the 10. And I do freeze it in a little minute just to show you. So there's Menu, Coop Miners playing as the 2 6s. Look at Tony and Fernandez playing like either side, trying to split maybe the 2 defensive midfielders a little bit. Works extremely well. You also get the option as if Tony drops in, does the centre-half go and chase him and go tight to him? If he does, that leaves a gap for maybe a Rashford to dart into. If he doesn't, then that leaves Tony with the opportunity, the number 9, the opportunity to turn and then run at a defence. Maybe if that was a Højlund as well. Imagine Højlund being able to turn and then run at a defence from 40 yards out. Absolutely fantastic. If someone like maybe Højlund was doing that. And then this one's just how we build with that 2-2-2 formation in the middle of the pitch. Look at Tony coming in really deep, linking play really well. Look how deep he's even acted as pretty much nearly an 8 there at times. Obviously, Tony's superb in possession of the ball. And then we just work it. Fernandes coming into that half space, then finding the width and the depth with Garnacho. We end up getting the ball cleared. I think we get the ball back in the transition here. Yeah, we do. And then we end up, I think someone gets sent off. Yeah, wallop. Big tackle. But just a little clip to show you Tony coming in, overloading that midfield as well, finding the opportunity to turn and play. Garnacho, the two wide players, going really high and wide, giving you an outlet, giving us depth to our player, or giving us verticality to our player, should I say. And this one's just pure build-up from the back. So Nana to the 6, straight out to Garnacho, and then we build again. So Menu, the two 6 dropping off. Tony linking play superbly well. Back into the 6, into the 10, and then Garnacho coming in off that right-hand side like you would expect. Remember we said we did that at City and missed the target. For me right then, he absolutely smashed it in. And then just the role of Tony again, coming in and getting involved, giving the defenders something to think about. Basic, calm look. We're waiting. Tadiba's waiting for that trigger press. We're waiting. Very much De Zerbi ball. Maguire being patient in possession. And then when we get the opportunity, Menu, Coop Miners, there'll be a couple of quick passes in a minute. And we're away. Look, we've brought the pressing lines. Tony's managed to turn. Finds DiMarco. Rashford then in a 1v1. And then bodies in the box. Keeper catches it, but as you can see, patient. Opportunity to beat the press. We beat it, and then we're off with a Tony link in, and then getting a wide player in down that left or right-hand side. And this one, again, is just really good patient play. Watch the passes that we do. So Brighton, so patient in possession pass. I'm going to highlight them, look. So we've got Martinez, Todibo, Coop Miners and Menu. We've got Fernandes and Tony. They're my 6, look. It's like a 6-a-side match. Just let them have possession of the ball. Waiting for that opportunity. Meno, just one touch, just popping it off. It'll come back across. Look, working it really well. Can we find a pocket? Can we find a gap? Todibo now finds the 10. We then get Garnacho in a 1v1. We win a corner. Absolutely tremendous build-up using Roberto De Zerbi tactic in FM. All right, that is the tactic. The season itself, we finished second in the Premier League, which as a Man United fan we would take. We only lost 4 games all season. One of them, bizarrely, was 5-0 to Aston Villa, which was really weird. 11 defeats. A lot of draws in there, like disappointing draws. 0-0 against Forest. 1-1 at Brentford. 1-1 at home to Wolves. 1-1 at West Ham. 1-1 at Forest. We've maybe not scored. We've scored 81. But bearing in mind, we beat Burnley 9-2 as well towards the end of the season. And some of the games that we've drawn, we lost 1-0 to Brighton. A lot of 0-0s in there, look. Chelsea, Forest, Newcastle, no goal. Brighton, we've missed a lot in there. A couple of 1-0ers, a lot of 1-1ers. Brentford, Lens, we should be beating, West Ham that we spoke about. And then a whole host, not a massive amount of huge wins. Obviously, the 9-2 against Burnley, but a really good possession-based tactic. I think we were 3rd in the division. No, we're 4th, 58% possession, but only 2% behind City, so right up there. More importantly as well, what they want from their wide players is contributions. And look at the contribution from Alejandro Garnacho. 19 assists, 21 goals, 40 goal contribution for playing from right wing. More goals than Tony, who had a decent season, 23 and 49. Bruno Fernandes, really good season. Those four working together. Rashford, Fernandes, Tony and Garnacho, get it sorted, Manchester United. I think we actually won a cup. Did we win a cup? Yeah, we won the Carabao Cup as well. I think we beat Liverpool. Got knocked out to Bayern Munich in the last 16, but it's progress for Man United. And then as the season develops, we've had a season, I would then go and buy another wide player, because the thing with Manchester United is I've had to play with Anthony. I've had to play with Diallo. Diallo's not good enough for Manchester United. Anthony, we know, is not good enough, but we can't sell him. So that'll be something to strengthen. Now, I've forgotten about Jadon Sancho. Signing you right back then for that season, and then start looking at long-term replacements for Bruno Fernandes, who by the end of the 25-26 season will be he'll be starting the season at 31 years old. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Take care. Check out the Patreon. Muchly appreciated. See you later.